YTB for inviting me to make a presentation here. It's a really good opportunity to present here in front of you guys, and thank you also to listen to my presentation. Actually, this is my fourth time to attend this conference, and it's really huge, I think. So for me, it's huge, and for you also, I believe. Anyway, the topic that what I will discuss is about emerging global organizations and groups, a paradigm shift for a new world order. Like when you said that the title, I will argue from the theoretical perspective, like how the emerging global organizations. I will say like what I mean actually the global organizations and what actually does mean the global groups. Why I took this and how it influence make a really new world order. I mean the shifting world order from existing world order. This is actually main outline of my presentation. If you see, like I say that the main hypothesis, like what I would say, my paper, like this presentation is really hard to say everything. But the main hypothesis to say like how the new organization or new group, especially in 21st century, its impacts or is creating new world order. And in that case, I selected three theoretical issues. The first is like hegemonic theory, I mean hegemonic stability theory, and the second I select the institutional paradigm theory, and the third is international regime theory. From these three theoretical background, I just try to say that how this theory and the current situation of global organization and the other countries, they come to the one place, I mean within the groups or within an organization making a new world order. And in that case, I just try to see the historical issue, I mean historical background of this kind of organization. And to clarify these things, I just selected four global organizations. I mean to understand and I have made a real argument. I selected four organizations: the BRICS, IPSA, MECTA, SCO. We will see like what does actually mean and how they are actually impacting from the theoretical background of the real situation. If we see that the first theory, that what I say, like this is a hegemonic stability theory. We know that the hegemonic stability theory, it comes to the world to argue that if any country, if we see that the existing global order country, I mean world order country, we say that USA as an example of world order, this is the one kind of hegemonic country, like how they are impacting on other countries or on the other marginalized and peripheral world or peripheral country. So let's see that the country that I selected, the four organizations, and especially the member of that four organizations like BRICS, MECTA or SCO or like IPSA, we will see that every groups like BRICS, if we select China or India, or IPSA, if we select the India or SCO, again the China's impact and also the MECTA, the Turkish impact within this organization, even in the international politics, we will see that how the shifting international politics through the international organizations or groups. And this hegemonic stability theory, it shows like to imply the hegemonic stability, we have to be cooperation or stability, balance between the political and economic. That means like if you want to make a hegemony on the world, especially the marginalized and peripheral world, you have to make a cooperation, I mean balance. And this balance, it can be from political stability or like economic stability. And then the second theory that I show, like institutionalist paradigm theory. Like this institutional paradigm theory argues that like how the international organizations or like this kind of groups, what I said, like for example MECTA, is it really influential, like this kind of institutions or organizations, is they make really new paradigm for the world politics or global politics? And they say, for example, like and here I use the one argument from Joseph S. Nye and also Yuhani, that are really great scholar of international relations, and they say in institutional paradigm theory, like the new realist and new liberal, they have some approaches, and this kind of approaches it's the main objects to create the global governance. So it shows like those kind of organization, what I'm telling, are they really making global order by their institutional approach, what we say like the groups or organization, and we'll see the impacts like when we argue. So institutional paradigm theory, they said like, okay, this kind of things actually the main object of this kind of organization or institutional to make a paradigm shift. And the last theory that I argued is international regime theory. And international regime theory, it also argues from the background like the organizations or groups, they are making some kind of regime system. I mean, they will influence on the states or any state in the world. For example, like we are the four member countries came to the member of BRICS or 5 member countries, and these 5 member countries they can influence to other countries or they can influence by their member countries. For example, like we can say that the SCO, like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, is there any influence by China on their member countries? Of course, we will see that they have a really influence on their country. So regime theory, they argue this that this kind of organization, they are of course the 1/8 countries or the chief countries, they are making some kind of hegemony, some kind of regime for their own interest, or like it also say like some example we can say that in 1917 there was some economic collapse, and in that time that how USA they create a international regime by institutional approach. What we can say like UN, and by through the UN we can say like how they make this international regime approach by IMF or like IBRD and whatever this kind of international organizations. So within this theory, like those organizations that I feel like they are really making this kind of regime approach, this kind of influences by their institution or organizations. Let's see that the historical background of why this emerging global organization really fact is really happening in the world for shifting the new world order. Let's see that after First World War, it's very clear for us that who is the global world order country. That's what I already said. Like okay, it's US. So like they are making the hegemonic stability from their political and economic approaches. But this is true. There is some vacuum happen, especially after 2010. What we can argue from different perspective. It can be argued from economic instability or maybe political instability. It shows like the leadership fact. Like if we see that the Europe or the Western perspective, how the leadership or populism, this kind of stuff, issues came to the world and it makes it instability. That's what actually shows that the vacuum or hegemonic global world. What we see till now, there is some vacuum happening. There is something needed. Like it shows that okay, the other option is rising. And the other option, how they're rising, that's what actually main issue of my paper. Like an historical background, as I said, like post-World War, the USA they existed, we can say that till 2010, but the fact is now it's changing. And the new global partnership, that's the point I highlighted, like how the new global partnership is happening. If we see the new global partnership, what we say, the four organizations that I try to present here, like IPSA, like India, Brazil, or like BRICS, the 5 countries also like Russia, China, or India, or like ACO, that's Shanghai Cooperation, or even MIGTA, like Mexico, Turkey. It shows like that they are trying to avoid some countries who are existing global order country. If we say whatever it's the European powerful countries or whatever it is Western powerful country, they are trying to make a new global partner, new approaches from their own perspective. They try to message to the world that we are coming to the world as a global leader. We are trying to approach our mission, our goal from our approaches, our unique things. That's what we'll see. Like they are not talking this, we are only one country. China is not talking this, we are coming to the world in one country. We have a partners. And that's partners, how they are coming? By the global partnership. I mean global partnership ways, by the global organizational way, by the global groups. They are trying to show their mission and goals. So let's see that if we see the development, this kind of organization, what I choose the for, like the HCOs, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it was established in 15 June 2001. Like this is the first approach that China they made, especially within their geographical location, especially from Asian perspective. And also the IPSA it was established from in 2003, and BRICS was established in 2009, and then the last one, if we say the influential global groups, the mid 2030. If we see this is the 4 out of 4 organizations, that every organization that I say that every organization there is one key country. It shows that they are coming to the world as a very influential country. If that's what I say, like ACOs, we can say China, or like IPSA, we can say India, and BRICS. It's also the same, India, China, or like in MIGTA, of course, Turkey. And in this case, like indicator, that's what I try to argue, that there are influences in global politics or international politics. It's very clear that Chinese influence or Indian influence or like Turkish influence or even the Russian influence is very clear. They have a specific, very influential influence on from their own perspective, from their own methodology they are applying to the world politics. Please see this I already discussed about it. This is the main issue, like how the BRICS actually, what's their object, how they're influence to the world politics. We know that the BRICS is actually the 5 countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And within these 5 groups, I mean these 5 countries, they make one group, and it shows that their economic influence and the political influence is really huge. And to make this huge influence in an effective way, they come together and they make this thing. And the main issue they are trying to achieve, this is the one like coordination in meetings and make the countries as a global hegemonic countries, and to make shows the world like we are one for another. That's this kind of issue. And if we see that this organization, they have a kind of real, they try to establish or they try to achieve. This is the one is economic realm and the other is political realm. In economic realm, they have a target like, okay, for example, like for economic agenda, we will work within G20 group. We know about the group 20 countries, the world's most economic or developed country. They will work according to the agenda of G20, but within G20, we will have another approach. The world, the other countries, other marginalized countries, peripheral countries, they will understand that these BRICS member countries, they have a unique approach. They have a unique cooperation. They have a unique mission. And the political realm also the same thing. They will advocate to a reform of the United Nations and its Security Council. Especially, this is very clear. That's what India tried to message to the world, like that to change the better poor countries. Like, and try to establish this kind of issue. For example, if we take an example that India want to be a better poor countries, or like what Turkey say, like actually I try to argue from this issue, like what Turkish president also say, like the world is bigger than 5. So what is bigger than 5? Like this fact, how it will be in an agenda list of UN. It should to be by through a collaborative approach, a cooperative approach. By alone, it's really impossible. So these kind of countries, they try to move together and they try to show us that, okay, we have to change the United Nations formula, United Nations agenda, and it should to be reformed. And this is another political realm of BRICS. Let's see the activities actually it comes. I'm trying to ignore this. And another issue like the ACOs, the other organization, is one of the we can say the ACOs effective and the world politics from economic perspective, from political perspective, from every perspective, ACOs is now the world top discussion issue. Because the China is the main, how we can say the enterprise country to talk to take these initiatives. And the main thing that's what China do within this organization is a one belt and one road initiative. That's what we told in Turkey, like Kuşak Yol division. And this way they are trying to approach the whole world. And this one belt and one road initiative, they have a really 6 approaches from to cover the whole world. For example, like they have an economic corridor with Pakistan, they have an economic corridor with Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, they have an economic corridor with Russia and this Europe, Eurasia. So they try to cover the whole world by their organization or by their policy. And what actually the new international relations theories, they try to say this kind of approach is a non-traditional soft power approaches. Like they try to say that the Chinese approach is a unique approach, and they try to make their partners. They try to show the world like we have a partners and we are working this kind of thing. We are working this kind of things for world benefit, for political economy of the world. And this is the IPSA. If we say that the IPSA actually is what we can say that the main initiative taken by India to try to make influence the Indian diaspora to the world. And this is the one kind of also cooperative organization. Like they say that we'll do something the pluralistic, multicultural, and multi-traditional society. So like what actually they do? Of course, this all organization their first object is economically. To be economically strong, they will be actually politically strong. And in every organization there is a agenda to the world politics. And the last one, that's what I said, the MIGTA. The MIGTA, this is the member countries like you see there's Mexico, Indonesia, Republic of Korea, Turkey, and Australia. If you see this partnership or these groups, like the very influential country here, especially in terms of international politics or political realm, is Turkey. So like they are also trying to approach this. Okay, we have a partner to acquire something in economically or in politically. We have some groups. We are working together. So this kind of cooperation, this kind of diaspora, it shows like something in a different way to influence in the whatever in UN Security Council from political perspective, or in a trade or business for their own country's economic interest or national interest. So this is the totally my presentation. That what I try to say. This four organization, what it counts after 2000, like from 2001 to till now, and the vacuum of the other one, I mean like the vacuum of Western countries and the increase of South-South cooperation, especially from Asian perspective, it shows the world is shifting from one world order to another global order. But it will take time. But the fact is really true that how it's influenced to other countries, how it influenced to marginalized countries, how it influenced to the periphery country, and it shows that yeah, they have a huge effect, or they have a huge influence, and that's all. That's what I try to do from my paper. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thanks, Nazmul, to be on time, first of all, timing, and secondly, it's a great presentation. I hope I can pronounce it truly.